Welcome back to DXB today, and tonight we're talking all things food tech, which is why I'm very excited to introduce our next guest tonight. He's an entrepreneur leveraging technology to help restaurants boost margins, very important, and reduce food costs through his venture-backed startup, Jalebi.io. Please welcome to the show, Zaher Haider. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm so excited about this that's about to happen, bringing in Omar as well. First of all, I guess, tell us all about Jalebi and why you started it.
How much time do we have?
Jalebi.io
is basically a software, or a SaaS as we call it, software as a service, which is basically designed to help restaurants manage and optimize their inventory. The fundamental problem that we're trying to solve and address with restaurants today, which is a very old problem that Omar is also trying to solve part of from one side and we're trying to do from another side, is essentially help them understand how much raw material they consume, how they consume it, and how much it costs them as they consume it, how much waste they produce as a result of it, and to create data as a result of all of this so that they can plan and anticipate how much they need to order and reorder in the future. Part of the problem that we're actually trying to address is also around the factor of sustainability, because when you reduce food waste, you actually give them more working capital as well. And so the problem becomes two-pronged. One is the food cost that they're enduring and the waste that they're creating, and also the working capital that gets lost in the inefficiencies of the whole process. We started this company about 3.5 years ago. We went on a very long journey of just asking a ton of really dumb questions and getting a lot of no's and kind of kicked out of restaurants, and we just kept persevering. We tried to understand the value chain by sort of going on an adventure to try and figure out where the biggest pain was. We did not decide that inventory was going to be our first stop. It was actually the last one. And it took 18 months, a lot of rejection. In building technology companies, you end up getting a lot of no's from investors, from customers, and in that process, I think we arrived at this point where we were like, inventory is an interesting space because A, it's boring, B, you figure somebody's already figured it out, and C, there must be an accountant somewhere doing this really well, so why would we want to do this? As it turns out, enterprise technology takes care of this for slightly bigger players or generally larger operators. But when you look at mom and pops, SMEs, shawarma shops on the corner of the street, they don't have access to that technology because it's prohibitive from a cost perspective, from an onboarding and a utility point of view. So we've tried to really kind of take the gold standard of all this tech, distill it through hundreds of years of expertise that people that we have working with us, and turn it into something that hundreds of thousands of restaurants around the world can access. And then we called it Jalebi because it's a cool name.
Oh, you were excited about that.
I was. We used to get Jalebi, we call it Jalebi or Jalebi when from Sharjah. I know a specific spot that's very good, but talking about that specific spot, because I feel your pain, if you will. How did you manage, or how easy was it or hard to get your first couple of clients to start the snowball kind of effect just to go? Because now I know Jalebi is very well known. I know it, of course, and of course we're working together. So how did you start?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're still trying to find where the snow is at. But the reality is that I think for us, it was always really very simple. I've always believed in the idea that your first 10 customers are your most important customers. And there have been books written about these kinds of concepts where you find your first 10 customers and you create such loyal advocacy that they will find your next 10 customers. And before you know it, you're at 1,000 customers. Now, while we're not at 1,000 yet, inshallah, we will be soon. Our goal is really to kind of go deep with the customers that we do have. What we've discovered in the process of building and trying to get people to adopt this technology is that there is a lot of resistance to change. Now, professionally in my career, over 20 years, I've basically spent the vast majority of it in transformation, helping people transform from one way of doing things to a more digitized way of doing things, essentially in maybe the last 15 years. And one thing that I've really kind of come to conclude always is that of the transformation process, only 5% of it is the tech, 95% is the people. And so if you get people out of their own way and you find ways to create conviction within them that this is actually better for me, the problem is that people are averse to change. And so it becomes a lot of relationship building, a lot of trust building, and you have to really be their trusted advisor, is my co-founder's favorite expression, as what we'd like to be.
Now,
so that's what we do.
It was really interesting to see the two of you talk to each other earlier on, because I think here at DXB today, we've kind of made it something where we connect people to each other, especially since your businesses are so related.
Yes.
So do you see yourselves working together in tackling the inefficiencies in the food industry here in the UAE?
Yes, absolutely. Is that question to me or?
For both of you.
I mean, I'm
actually.
surprised we're not already working together.
Exactly.
Actually. I'm surprised it took us, a huge media crew to get us together. Because to be honest, our whole mission, and I think this is Omar and I were discussing this earlier. Our mandate as a company has always been to be really good at very few things and then find great partners to work with to extend the value chain, because we cannot operate alone and we don't want to be, the all and end all of the F&B industry, because we simply cannot be. It's too complicated, it's too many people, there are too many vulnerabilities and a lot of ego as well. And so we want to try and be good at one or a few things. And Omar actually does something that is so fundamentally crucial to what we do. They almost complete us, in a way, and I think that's a really powerful thing because.
And the same with you.
Yeah.
You complete us as well.
Oh.
So thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
This is happening.
I'll take a percentage. I did want to ask, because there has been an increase in food tech, in advances, in innovations, and it seems to be curiously after the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm interested as to why you think that is. Is it because people missed eating out so much that they were like, let's get back into this? Because it's one of the oldest industries, probably the first industry is making food and giving it to others. Why the sudden push?
So if you don't mind,
Yeah, please.
You feel there has been an advancement or a major advancement in technology, but that's because there's been a major advancement in technology for the B2C. So for you as a consumer, yes, but for companies such as Jalebi, they are very few in the world, actually, if any, that can do what he does today. And that's why for us as Watermelon, we want him as part of our ecosystem, because we welcome people who are making businesses better. What you see is the companies that are serving you. I hope.
Wow, I mean, as your PR manager, would
to
you
be
like
honest-
to?
I get a percentage as well.
I love it. We're percentage people. I couldn't have answered it better, actually, because to be honest, I think there's what we see and what we know, and it's kind of going back to your question about Eggs Benedict, right? We expect this, and it's become a great talking point, because you perceive value is really based on the information you have about something, not the
Then egg and bread.
Exactly. But it's not about the information you don't have, right? So as a famous American politician once said, who I won't name, you don't know what you don't know.
Well, it sounds like you definitely know your stuff. We're very happy that you're coming up with these technologies and these innovations right here in the UAE, so we're the first to benefit. Zahed, thank you so much for being on DXB today.
Thank you for having me.
But for right now, the four of us are all going to stare at Omar
Okay.
because we have DXB in 60. Louis?
Omar, here's a little bit of a surprise for you. You are on the spot right now. We've got 60 seconds to know a little bit more about you. Okay, so rapid fire questions, 60 seconds. Are you ready?
Go.
Okay, here we go. Your 60 seconds on the clock starts in 3, 2, 1. If you weren't in the food tech industry, what would you be doing?
Finance.
Your first job?
Trading.
Your motto in life and in work?
One love.
Oh, a superpower you wish you had?
Cooking.
Oh,
Is a superpower.
your go-to place in Dubai?
The sea, actually.
Do you have a favorite food tech gadget?
Food tech gadget. My gelato maker at home, yes.
Sounds yummy. Most used app on your phone?
This is not the best answer, but it's my email app.
Oh no,
Right.
working too much. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, wow. There are many, but today it would be Elon Musk, to be honest.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but we do have one more question. Why Dubai?
Because it's life.
That's just like.
That's
By the way,
speechless.
yeah, shout out to the social media team. That is going on to Dubai World TV. Omar, thank you so much for being
Thank
our guest
you.
co-host today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we've genuinely loved learning about Watermelon. And Zahed, thank you once again for being here. Right, coming up, multi-award-winning singer and pianist Paulina is closing the night with a very, very special performance. You don't want to miss it.